On March 17, 2000, villagers in the Kanungu district of southwestern Uganda woke up to the smell of smoke. Thick black clouds bellowed into the sky. What authorities discovered next would shake the world. Inside a church belonging to a fringe religious movement, 778 men, women, and children were found dead. At first, investigators believed this was a mass suicide, one of the largest in recorded history, but then the autopsies came back. Many victims had been stabbed, many had been strangled, some even had their throats cut. This wasn't a ritual exit, this was a spiritual farewell. It was a mass murder, and the people responsible, they disappeared. No one was ever arrested. The case remains one of the most disturbing unsolved massacres in modern times. This is the full story of the Ugandan cult massacre of 2000. To understand how nearly 800 people ended up dead, we have to go back to the beginning, before the flames, before the bloodshed, back in the mid-1980s. A group calling itself the Movement for the Restoration of the Ten Commandments of God began forming in Uganda. The name sounds peaceful, almost quaint, but behind the scenes, it was anything but. The movement was founded by a collection of charismatic leaders: Joseph Kibwetir, a former politician, Credonia Morind, a bar owner and self-proclaimed prophetess, and several former Catholic catechists who claimed they received visions from the Virgin Mary. According to their followers, Credonia was the true voice of God, the one who received messages from angels and spirits. They preached one thing above all: the world would end on January 1st, 2000, and that fear, that promise, pulled people in. The group attracted farmers, teachers, politicians, entire families. By the late 1990s, thousands were living in commune-like compounds. They gave up their possessions, they sold their lands, they donated their savings. Followers were taught that speaking was a sin, so silence filled their camps. Meals were rationed, children fasted, everyone worked, everyone obeyed. Locals started calling them the silent people. As the year 2000 approached, the group's teachings became more extreme. Leaders declared that global destruction was imminent. Fire would rain down from the skies, oceans would boil, and God would spare only those who obeyed the Ten Commandments perfectly. And so, followers worked tirelessly to prepare for the end. They built the church in Kanungu, a long wooden structure with a concrete foundation, claiming it would be the last safe place on earth. But January 1st, 2000 came and went. Nothing happened. Followers grew confused, doubt spread. Some asked for their money back or tried to see family members they'd cut off. Others wanted to leave entirely. To a normal religious leader, this would be a crisis. To these leaders, it was a threat. Shortly after the failed prophecy, witness reported seeing leaders sell off large amounts of the group's property, land, cattle, crops, all at suspicious prices. Something was changing. Something was coming. On March 16, 2000, one day before the massacre, the group held what they called a farewell feast. Witnesses say the atmosphere was strangely cheerful. Music playing, people were laughing, children were dancing beneath lanterns. Food was plentiful for the first time in months. Even alcohol was shared. It was a celebration, but it was also a goodbye.
I found most of these bodies, the burnt bodies, because they were burnt, some of them to ashes, and others, of course, all of them beyond recognition. But there were concentrations near the exits, near the doors, which implies there was a bit of a struggle to get out.
At dawn, neighbors noticed cult members entering the church. Over 500 people walked inside, closing the doors behind them. The windows were boarded up from the inside. The curtains were nailed shut. Candles were lit. Singing began. And then, boom, an explosion rocked the entire building. Flames consumed the structure within minutes, fueled by gasoline that investigators later found poured along the walls. When the fire finally died down, only ash, bones, and twisted metal remained. The official death count was 530 people in that one building, but that was only the beginning. Authorities searching nearby found 248 more bodies spread across various properties owned by the movement. Many had been dead for days. Some were buried in shallow graves. Others were hidden behind walls. Some were tied. Some were stabbed. Some were poisoned. This was no mass murder. This was systematic extermination. The total reached 778 dead, with strong evidence that the number could have been even higher. It became one of the largest cult-related massacres in modern history.
Most of these people had died out of strangulation, because they had even some ropes around their necks. They had folded them 3 times, and I think with a knot on the right. And we also came across some bodies with the skulls which had been smashed. We suspect they were hacked to death. But a big number, we suspect they could have been poisoned.
The big question is why? There are 3 major theories, none fully proven. Theory 1, the failed prophecy turned deadly. When the world didn't end on January 1st, 2000, followers demanded answers. Some wanted refunds, some wanted out, some had given everything they owned. For the leaders, this was a disaster. If people left, the movement would collapse, and so would their control and wealth. Investigators believe the leaders may have planned the killings to silence the growing rebellion. Theory 2, the leaders planned their escape. All 6 known leaders vanished. Not one was ever found dead in the church. Not one was arrested. Some investigators believe the massacre was staged as a cover-up, a way for the leadership to disappear carrying the cult's money across the border. Rumors claim they fled to Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of Congo, or even into remote mountains where they started anew. No sightings have ever been confirmed.
Investigating, definitely we have not got evidence to show that they are dead, but we highly suspect that they could have died in that inferno.
We are definitely looking for Chibwetere in Uganda and beyond Uganda. And we're asking the international community, friends of Uganda, friends of justice, friends of a fair and a peaceful society to support and assist the people of Uganda in this manhunt for Chibwetere.
Theory 3, a radicalized core believed murder was salvation. Some former members say the cult had adopted extremist beliefs that death was the only guaranteed path to heaven. To them, killing their followers was an act of mercy, even if the followers didn't know it. This theory became more believable as stories emerged of children being forced to fast and followers living in silence, waiting to be purified. Masario's family hosted a branch of the church with about 100 members in their compound, 2 kilometers outside of the town of Life rotated around prayers, though we also farmed, she says. We did everything possible to avoid sin. Sometimes if you sin, they would command you to recite the rosary 1,000 times. You had to do it, and also ask friends and family to help until you served your punishment. Devotion to the movement regularly involved pilgrimage to a steep rocky hill nearby. After a tough hike through a eucalyptus forest, hanging onto rocks and grabbing at tufts of grass, the faithful would reach a rock that they believed depicted the Virgin Mary. The Ugandan government launched an international manhunt. They searched jungles, villages, and border crossings. Interpol was contacted, witnesses were questioned, but no one ever found the leaders. No arrests were made, no trial was held. The case remains open, but with no leads, no bodies, and no suspects, it slowly faded from public memory. The church site still exists, a charred foundation, concrete steps leading to nowhere, a memorial plaque listing the dead. To this day, locals swear the area is haunted. Some say at night you can hear singing, distant echoing like the voices of the silent people. Anna Combarejo, who still lives on a hillside that overlooks the land that the cult owned, has not forgotten the smell that engulfed the valley that Friday morning. Everything was covered in smoke, soot, and the stench of burnt flesh. It seemed to go right to your lungs, she recalls. Everybody was running into the valley. The fire was still going. There were dozens of bodies burnt beyond recognition. We covered our noses with aromatic leaves to ward off the smell. For several months afterwards, we could not eat meat.
We believe there was a systematic extermination of followers. And we believe this was after the prophecy failed to materialize, because according to them, the world was supposed to end on 31st December 1999. It did not happen. But before that, they had told the members to sell their property and hand the proceeds to the head.
I think the people started dying because they started asking questions about their property when the end of the world didn't come on the 31st of December 1999.
So they continued extending the deadline, saying, no, the world will end tomorrow because there was an error somewhere in the counting of the days. Then they said, no, the world will end in March, until when they agreed it would end on 17th March.
Eric Naigambi is the public face of the Ugandan police, which is confronting an investigation that would stretch the resources of the FBI or Scotland Yard.
The Ugandan cult massacre stands as a chilling reminder of how fear, isolation, and manipulation can twist faith into something monstrous. 778 people died because they trusted the wrong voices, and the ones responsible vanished into the shadows. This is a case with no closure, no justice, and no answers. This has been the first episode of the Disturbing Case Files. If you guys enjoyed, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you for watching.